I'm delighted to say I am joined in studio now by the 2019 International Rose of Tralee, Sinéad Flanagan. Sinéad, good morning to you and thanks for coming into us this morning.
Good morning, thank you for having me.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much, thank you.
How are you feeling now in the aftermath? You got a couple of hours sleep, I understand, but you're probably still running on adrenaline?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think anything has had a chance to sink in just yet, but maybe later on today or tomorrow.
Yeah. So your reaction last night, you genuinely were stunned.
Yeah,
stunned. You weren't expecting this.
Not at all. No, everyone keeps saying that. Yeah. So I think you can fake that kind of shell shockedness. So yeah, definitely stunned.
Was it one of those surreal moments in your life when you just heard Limerick being shouted out?
Yeah, I think I just froze, really. I think it was like I couldn't believe Dahi had just said it. So I needed my girls around me to keep me standing at that stage.
I thought you were going to faint myself, but you kept it together. Tell me how you got involved, how you got into it. Why did you enter Rose of Tralee this year?
I suppose it was something I'd always thought about. Big fan since early childhood, like a lot of young Irish people. Kind of seemed like the year for it. I'd finally finished college, finished my first year of working, and had always planned ever before the Rose of Tralee to just kind of do a bit of travelling this year and work kind of more short-term contracts. So it just seemed like it fitted with the year, and if it had worked out to be the Limerick Rose, I never thought this far forward, obviously. So
yeah, so you went through the process. At any stage did you think during the week that, and I know there's so much going on, you've such a hectic schedule, you're visiting people, you're at the parades, you're at the events, you're in this Rose of Tralee bubble. Do you ever start thinking, this is going pretty well? What if? You allow yourself to think that? I
didn't personally anyway. I don't know whether other people do. I think you're just having so much fun, and even when people call it contestants, it doesn't have that vibe at all. I think someone wins obviously, and it is at the end of the day someone has the year. But for me personally, being the Limerick Rose was, getting there and getting to be in Tralee was my prize at that time anyway.
Yeah, you were delighted with how the week went.
Yeah, exactly. It was fantastic, beyond belief.
Were you prepared for the reaction that the Roses get when they do go to schools, go to visit medical centres, visit the people, see them in the parade, the crowds, all of that?
I don't think so. I think you think people will always be excited to see you, but not to the extent that people are, and how enamoured people still are with the festival and everything we do.
Did you get a chance to meet your family last night?
I did. I met them briefly, yeah. I met them for a while, and I think they probably stayed up a lot later than I did, so catch up with them at some stage. And
the Rose Centre from Limerick, they must be absolutely delighted.
Yeah, Connor and Tom and Laurie and Kaylee have been fantastic support, and gave them a big hug last night, so really looking forward to seeing them again, and I'm sure they'll have my back this year as well.
And well, it's only a couple of years ago I remember that there was disappointment. Limerick didn't make it to the final for a couple of years in a row, because there are 64 centres all hoping that their Rose will get there on stage. I suppose this is an example that, look, it may not happen for a couple of years, but then all of a sudden you can have a winner from nowhere.
Yeah, I suppose so. So 2 years ago, 2017, Kaylee Maher was on the stage in the Dome. I think before that it was 2007, so it was a
long gap
for Limerick. Yeah, but Limerick has always had a very proud tradition of the Rose of Tralee, so it's been 25 years since Myrna Hurley won the Rose of Tralee, so
yeah, there you go. So it's a nice chime with that. Talk to me a bit about what your hopes are for the year ahead. What would you like to... You have been to Ghana before.
Yes.
You talked about maybe wanting to go to South America. You'll have the opportunity maybe to interweave that now with the Rose, perhaps.
Yeah, so as I mentioned, this year for me was about travel before ever this Rose. So hopefully, I'm not quite sure yet, but I had a plan to go abroad, maybe work for a couple of months and do different things like that. So hopefully we can still fit those kind of things in.
Yeah. What was Ghana like?
It was fantastic, yeah. It's 2 years ago now, this time 2 years ago, or in June 2 years ago. Great experience, great to meet fantastic people and see what they do with a lot less than we have here.
Yeah, and you were out there at the Methodist Faith Healing Hospital.
Yes, so I went as part of the Surgeon Union Society, which is a society in UCC run by medical students for medical aid in Africa. So we went out, 46 of us, all across Africa.
And is that like run along the same principles as Médecins Sans Frontières, like the giving up some of your time? Your students, obviously, but still.
Yeah, so we're students, obviously. So we fundraised a lot of flag days before we went. It's totally self-funded. So we pay for everything ourselves. And we raised over €100,000 between 46 of us. And that went out directly to the hospitals, and the students go out and I suppose just to see where the money is going and what else we could fundraise for, and what they are looking at and needing.
Okay, all right, and more of that maybe to come in the next 12 months. A couple of comments coming into us already. Morning, Jerry. Congratulations to Limerick Rose Sinéad Flanagan. A beauty, as were all the roses. The council staff should be highly commended as well. They were out very early this morning ensuring that the streets were clean after the night before. They did a fantastic job, says Catherine in Tralee. And another listener gets in touch with a with a prediction here. Presume you saw this. 1984, Limerick won the Rose of Tralee. That's 25 years ago, as you've mentioned. Kerry beat Dublin to win the All-Ireland in 1994. Limerick won the Rose of Tralee. Down beat Dublin to win the All-Ireland. See the trend? 2019, Limerick win the Rose of Tralee. Will Kerry win the All-Ireland? So it's all down to you, Sinead.
It's all up to me, yeah. So
we'll give you the credit if we win on something.
Yeah, staffing the Dubs for 5 in a row.
You're a huge hurling fan?
Yes, definitely. A huge GA fan in general. So yeah, very much so. Family all the way up would be very into the GA. So.
Yeah, Mungret, of course, a centre of it in Limerick. You're living in Adair now as well. Mm-hmm. I'm being told there's a 1 mile tailback on the Tralee side of Adair this morning. So yeah, see, this is it's all culminating. We're going to get the bypass now. You've won the Rose of Tralee. The Ryder Cup is coming. You mentioned it last night on stage, so you're excited about it?
Yes, for sure. I think I even got the bypass in on stage, so I don't know. Adair is definitely very topical at the moment. Very proud to be associated with Adair. It's a fantastic place to be from, and even Limerick in general has been amazing and fantastic support. So
yeah, and you know Greg O'Shea, Love Island, another winner.
Yeah, so Limerick has been a great year for Limerick and the hurling and Love Island and now the Rose of Tralee, so it's great.
Okay, Sinead, I want you to stay with us. We're going to talk a bit more. If you have any questions for her, anything you want to say about the Rose of Tralee and how it went last night, then do get in touch with us on the programme this morning. We want to hear from you because we have a couple of more things to get to with regards to that. Actually, we'll get to those now. I wanted to talk to you about, I suppose, and you haven't even had a chance to think about that, but you studied physiotherapy for 4 years in UL and you transferred on to do medicine. It's a long time in college. What kind of made you think about going that road? Was it that you learned so much more about the body and through medicine through the first 4 years? Was that part of your decision?
I suppose just from school, like a lot of people, you're not sometimes quite clear in your thinking or where you're going, and we just all kind of head towards college, I suppose, and that's obviously fantastic, but sometimes you don't hit the nail on the head the first time around. So I enjoyed my time in UL. It was fantastic, but just maybe halfway through or towards the end, I just really knew it wasn't for me, the focus. So my focus was still in healthcare, just a slightly different aspect of healthcare. So that's where medicine came about.
And how have you found it?
Oh, it's great. Loved UCC, and then obviously the last year everything has its challenges, but all in all, great. Yeah,
you were junior doctor, so you would have been putting in serious hours and all of that goes with it.
Yeah, of course, yeah. But it's all part and parcel of it and learning the trade.
Yeah, you mentioned last night as well that you're hoping to specialise in an area, infectious diseases.
Yeah, so it's very early in my career. People asked what I might hope to do, but everything can change, and usually in medicine you stay very general for a while before you specialise. So that's what I will see.
yeah. And is there any particular reason behind that? Just the fascination with it, or the situation? I remember we did a piece last year about the Spanish flu and the effect that had on the world. It actually changed the world 100 years on in 1918. That's the sort of area you would be looking at if you're thinking about that.
Yeah, I think it's just a very interesting area. I suppose it's ever changing. There's new infections all the time, and it's just I just find it very interesting, and I like the idea of specialising in something and becoming good at
becoming an excellent in that area, I suppose. Tell me about what it's been like working in Mallow.
It's been great. So in my job, for the most part, you rotate every 3 months. So I was in CUH at the start of the year, then in the South Infirmary, and then in Mallow. So I haven't been in Mallow for a very long time, just 3 months, and then I did a couple of weeks of short contract work in Mallow then. So finished up working in Mallow at the end of July.
And do you get a good a feel for the health service? Like obviously Mallow would be a smaller operation than the centre of excellence that CUH is, and the huge numbers. So has that been a very good learning experience for you?
Yes, well, part of our intern years we do rotate between larger hospitals and smaller hospitals.
So you can see what's what,
Yes, that's what happens. So you rotate, if I go, going back in now, I'll rotate again every 3 months. So yeah, it's been a huge learning experience. Obviously, CUH is the biggest hospital in the country, as far as I'm aware. So very big learning experience there, but fantastic support, no matter where you are.
What's it like to work in our health service? As Di mentioned last night as well, there's a lot of headlines there, but when you're in the front line, when you're in the staff, you see, I suppose, the effort that goes in, the work that goes in. And like a lot of it, even though look, we're in the media and you talk about the pinch points and the problems, there's a lot of very good outcomes in general from the healthcare people get in Ireland.
Yeah, I think from a personal perspective, you can only do your own personal best, and you try to treat everyone well that you come in contact with and look after people to the best of your ability. I suppose organisation wise, that's above our hands as junior doctors. So I think we all endeavour, doctors, nurses, everyone else in the hospital, just to do our own personal best, and hopefully that will have as positive effect on everyone's care, and that's all we can do from our own personal level. Yeah,
and would you be tempted, or were you tempted working through it to maybe go abroad for a while to learn a bit more?
Yes, that was my plan this year. So I didn't take a formal contract, a long-term contract this year, as I was hoping to maybe work abroad for a couple of months or something like that. So hopefully that will still be in the pipeline. Okay, all right. And you obviously you'll talk to your family about where things go from here and the opportunities you'll have now in the next 12 months. Tell me finally about the other Roses, and everyone I've had in the studio this week, the Roses and others, talk about the sort of experiences you go through and the friendships that you make. Yeah, so it's been fantastic. I suppose looking in, you always see everyone being so close, and just, from the outside in. And I can just say it's certainly true, and probably even better than you could imagine. I think it's a unique shared experience that so few people have. And the bonds happen very quickly. So.
Yeah. Lots of things happening for you. It's your birthday tomorrow.
It is. It's my birthday tomorrow.
28 years of age.
28 tomorrow, yeah.
What a birthday present.
I know.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. If you want to celebrate with a bottle of wine, the moment for me from last night, aside from you winning, of course, was the Ohio Rose opening a bottle of wine in a boot off the side of a table.
Yeah, she's my roommate. So,
brilliant.
Very close to Danielle. She's a fantastic person. So
she is.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had her in. She's a brilliant salesperson, I'd say. She's just very, very, positive and amenable. That's just one of those moments last night, which was amazing. That'll stick with me for a long time.
She's a top salesperson, saleswoman in her department. So
in
very
GMS.
proud of her. Yeah.
Very good. Okay. Well, listen, Sinead, I know you're incredibly busy. I want to thank you for taking the time to come into us this morning, and I wish you the very best luck. No doubt we'll be speaking a few times through the year. Very best of luck with the next 12 months, and well done again.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Great stuff. That's Sinead Flanagan there, who is the 2019 International Rose of Tralee. If you have any views or comments for us on that, get in touch with us on the programme this morning.